Hi there, this is Donna Kozik, and I'm the founder of MyBigBusinessCard.com and creator and leader of the original Write a Book in a Weekend program. And I'm still not sure what I'm calling these things. They're kind of like Ask the Book Expert. They're kind of take a peek at my editing prowess, I guess you would say. I don't know. So let me just kind of dig into it. This is a volunteer who sent me 1,000 or so words, I guess almost 2,000 words with the start of her book. And she agreed to let me show you a couple of things that I think that she could do better. And I'm going to do a longer review for her after this, but I just wanted to focus and hone in on one thing that I think could make us all better writers. So thank you, Cherie Wagoner for sending this into me. And I went and checked out Cherie's website, iheartmefirst.com, and really nice. She does some coaching and things like that. So this is the start of a book, and as you can see up here, she is vowing to herself to finish this book this year, and it's going to be what I call a quote book plus, 101 inspiring quotes for self-esteem practices for women. Now, she gave me an example of her back cover copy and her about the author. I'm going to go over that with her later on. What I wanted to focus on was this introduction. So in the introduction, I asked my authors to write, as she put here, their purpose for writing this book and their philosophies. And the point of the introduction, especially for a quote book plus, is to give that personality that you have and to share that with the readers. So that's one thing that you want to be doing when you're writing your introduction. And then also you'll see how you want to put forth a certain attitude. I'm going to talk about that a little bit as we go along. So just to kind of dig into this, I highlighted a few things I wanted to point out to you. The first is my reasons for writing this book are twofold. I hope to provide insight around loving yourself despite your relationship status, and or to encourage strength and confidence in a time of emotional pain. So here's the thing. She has like twofold. It's actually better probably to have one purpose for your book so people don't have to pick and choose. They can just know right off the bat what the book is for. And then this statement and with the and or, it just isn't clear. Is this the two purposes or is this one of them? I'm not really sure. And yeah, so that's what I'd recommend about that. I'm not, one other thing, I'm not big into saying like the reason I'm writing this book is. Instead, you want to position yourself as what I call a leader to your readers and say, here is what you will walk away with after reading this book, or here's what I want to do for you. All right, so it's putting the power, it's putting more of a balance of power, but more towards the reader rather than focusing on yourself. They really don't care that you wrote this book or why you're writing this book. They want to know what you can do for them. So slight wording change here, I think, would be helpful. So here's the main thing, though, I wanted to show you. So in this beginning, Cherie talks about experiencing the loss of a significant relationship. So this book is something to do with relationships. She talks about emotional wounds from your past. She talks that you might be lonely, unlovable, rejected, worthless, incomplete, or depressed, or that you might be feeling this way. Here's a tip for everybody. When you're doing a series like this, no need to make it more than 3. So lonely, unlovable, and rejected, or something like that. The rest of these start to sound like more of the same. And by the time the reader gets to the end of this sentence, they're not even reading anymore. They're like, I get it. So in a series, keep it to 3 at the most. And then I highlighted this exclamation point. I allow my authors 5 exclamation points per book. I don't think this is the place to use one, so I would make that a period. Here's another series list. I believe relationship wounds, and then she lists them. Cherie has a habit of using semicolons instead of colons. Abandonment, abuse, unheard, lied to, disrespected, cheated on. Again, okay, we get it. And then she talks some more. When you feel empty, alone, unworthy of love, voids, emptiness. I'm just kind of like skimming through this now. Emotional deprivation, dysfunctional relationships. And then here it's, we all want to be loved, but whose love we're trying to get? Whose love are you so desperate for but can't obtain? And this is where, frankly, I had to start laughing a little bit, because we've gone into 6 paragraphs about how terrible life is, or life with relationships, or bad relationships, or no relationships, and feeling empty and alone, and all of this. And it's like, ugh, my gosh, it's who would want to keep reading this? Now, Cherie could go then and do 16 paragraphs about how you can be full of hope and things, but by then it might be too late. The reader might not get there. So 6 paragraphs of gloom and doom, and then it continues for a couple more. Dysfunctional relationship, which is kind of like assuming, this sentence, by the way, is really assuming for the reader. Let's be honest, the reason you stay in or put up with dysfunctional relationships because you dread being alone. That might not be the only reason. Or could be, I mean, I'm no relationship expert, but it could be something about codependence or fear, or who knows. So a different kind of fear. I think that's quite an assumption to make. And then here's, abuse and friends and all of this, friends who take advantage of you. Again, more doom and gloom. And then if you don't, you're going to have more breakups and disappointments. Now, granted, I am not reading this deep into content to see anything else. I'm just looking at the words first. I don't know, Cherie, and this is all I'm just getting at first blush. And again, I'm probably out of here by now, because I don't need more of this in my life. This is what I have in my life. Then this is interesting. Cherie hints at freedom and strength that comes from within when you lean only on you. Well, tell me more about that. Or if you don't tell me right now, tell me you're going to tell me about this. But after 8 paragraphs of doom and gloom, I would like to see this really built upon. In fact, I would like to see it reversed. And I would like to see 8 paragraphs about being an inspiration and giving some hope to the reader. And then after maybe acknowledging, it's like, hey, listen, I know you might be in a tough relationship right now, or no relationship, or you just got out of a terrible relationship. All that's past you. Now let's focus on you. And let's talk about what we can do for you. Like, that's the way I would start off this book, so you get the reader interested and give them that hope and inspiration. So here's my main insight for Cherie. From this point, as I mentioned, I'm going to do a further analysis of this for her. Editorial analysis, maybe that's what I should call this. I don't know. But my insight is, be a leader to your reader by identifying the problem quickly, and then give your readers hope, encouragement, and inspiration. If you want to find out more about writing a book of your own, you can go to freebookplanner.com and download your book. I specialize in showing people how to write a book as a big business card for themselves. And if you have a question for me about this, you can email me at donna@mybigbusinesscard.com. Until then, this is Donna Kozik. I'm the founder of mybigbusinesscard.com and creator and leader of the original Write a Book in a Weekend program. Happy writing out there. We'll see you in the bookstore.